back then. And I think it was like 1996, don't quote me on that, but go looking at around about 1996 on the old international mailing group discussion list and search the key phrase Cousin-CLEM, and you might come up with his recipe from back then, which seemed absolutely crazy at the time. But then again, there may be some truth in the rumour. He may have actually been telling you things serendipitously or by accident to what's really going on in the horticulture industry when it comes to growing and developing fly traps. You know that phrase they use, finished fly traps? You know, in quotes, finished. I wonder, is it finished as in I finished something, or is it is it a cheeky joke by them to the Nederlanders? They're using the term finish as in the Finns of Finland, as opposed to the what do you call them? You call them the Dutch of the Nederlanders? Or what do they got? They've got a special phrase. Is it the Danes of the Netherlands? Is it the Danes of the Netherlands? Forgive me not knowing all this European stuff, you know, being in the land down or in southern Aberland sort of thing after, 10 or so years of the so-called John Howard years, or the King John Howard years. And we're slowly dragging ourselves, as the phrase says, Adelaide is a hole you don't quite climb out of, the city of churches sort of thing. And of course we say about the Victorians, the best thing that come out of Victoria is the Hume Highway, and also the other ones, the other dig we have is, Melbourne weather, 4 seasons in one day, most of them winter. And of course we've come out of this sort of El Nino into this La Nina period now. Some of the people are now saying it could go on for 200 years. So we're thinking, well, we've had 22 years of the drought, we might have another 22 years of the wet sort of thing. And they're saying it might be not 22 years, it might be 200 years. So all this rain that's going on and of course within that 200 years, around about the 100-year mark, you'll have the wettest years then, because that's the way it works. You get the driest years in the middle and you get the wettest years in the middle, depending whether you're in El Nino or La Nina sort of thing, the little boy, the little girl sort of thing they talk about. It's a South American term. When we're in the dry, South America's in the wet, and vice versa. And of course, in this country, it goes along a line between Perth and Brisbane. You're above the line, you're below the line, how close you are to the line, and whether you're going into the season or coming out of the season, there are variable differences. But basically, and of course, you've got the winds growing from around Antarctica, goes in a clockwork fashion. That's why the journey from Brisbane to Perth takes an extra 2 hours of flying time, which means an extra 2 hours of, aviation fuel time, basically. And even though it's subsidised, that's why the ticket prices one way are different to the ticket prices the other way, in case you didn't know. And if you come to this country and you're looking at the boards, how much is my ticket going to cost? You look up the boards and you think, what the? I just paid going one way this price and I'm paying this price. Even though it is government subsidised, it's still more expensive one way than the other due to these winds that go clockwise off the Antarctic. And of course then we also have the Luan current coming down once a year down the west coast of Western Australia, around the Bight in the Southern Ocean. So I think you might want to look that up as well, and so on and so forth. Anyway, that's about it. A lot compressed into one short video, and I've got about a minute left, and I'll see you in, 4 weeks time, I suppose, maybe sooner. If one of these pots green, if I double flush it a lot faster, you might get greener, you might reach greenery faster, and the introduction of Cyanophyta, and the tops might green up, and you might see a response on the plant. Then I'll do a extra early video, but maybe another month's time. Or keep John Noyen, the great Noyen in America, happy with a monthly video sort of thing. Anyway, we'll see how we go. As the White Sox say, guys, if you can grow a tomato, you can grow CPs. We're putting it to the test. Now I want them to test their perlite with the universal indicator. I want you all to test your perlite with your universal indicator and see what results you get. I think you're going to get surprised, and I think the White Sox Sour guys are going to have to be doing a bit of walking back, a bit of talking back about the perlite angle. Anyway, okay. Over and out. See ya.